All right, folks, well, good morning and welcome back to an all-new episode of Maxim Outdoors. This week, I'm taking you back to the PA Wilds. The PA Wilds tour continues. I believe this is day 4, and we are here at Kettle Creek State Park at the upper campground. You can see the lake just off through the fog there. It is going to be a warm July day, and didn't really have the best campsite here, as you can see, pretty unlevel. And then got some neighbors up there running their generator all night. If you ever come to a campground, don't be that person. They literally ran it all throughout the night. But yeah, I'm not gonna let that ruin my trip here. So, long story short, this park does not have a lot of hiking trails. So, in general, today is gonna be a lot of driving. I'm gonna show you some vistas, take you down to the dam, show you the creek, and even a few CCC areas. So, come along with me. This is Kettle Creek, the 37th state park in our state park series. So I'm gonna hop in the truck, we're gonna drive up to the vista, and I'll show you what's up there. Let's get going. Alrighty, folks, well, after about a 3.5 mile drive up a dirt road into the state forest, we have arrived here at probably the highlight of Kettle Creek State Park, even though we're in the state forest technically. We're here at Kettle Creek Vista, and you guys are not going to believe this. Check this out. Look at that. You can see for miles and miles and miles. A little after 6 a.m., the sun just poked up on over the mountains. But yeah, no wonder they call this God's country. Like, look at this. Just ridiculous. Wow. Yeah, guys, it doesn't really get better than this in Pennsylvania. This might be the best vista in the entire state, and I'm not just saying that. This is just mind-blowingly awesome. So Kettle Creek Lake is probably 1,000 feet down below us right now, as you see the sun start to rise up over the PA Wilds here. If you look straight out, kind of a fun fact, we're looking north this way, and those mountains way off in the distance, that'd be Cherry Springs, the plateau up off in the distance. So just a couple of days, if you've seen that video that came out a couple weeks ago, we were looking at a vista this way, you know, through Cross Fork and everything. So we might be looking right back at the same vista we were at a couple of days ago. So yeah, Cherry Springs, Cross Fork, they're all up that way. And another little fun information that I learned last night is the Donut Hole Trail, considered to be one of the most difficult backpacking trails, runs right through this area. It's like right in here. And another fun fact I learned from Jeremy78, really great backpacking channel. If you haven't checked him out, what are you waiting for? He actually said that the Donut Hole Trail got its name because when the workers came to these areas, they were so remote and just miserable to work in whenever they were building that trail. They referred to it as the shithole trail. So, you know, they couldn't leave it like that. So they, in homage to the workers that built that trail, they named it the Donut Hole Trail. So that runs like right through here, I believe. And then it goes straight down. Can you imagine hiking down that or hiking up that on a hot summer day? I know I couldn't. Yeah guys, if you haven't made it to Kettle Creek, what are you waiting for? I could literally stand here all day. Look at the fog. Amazing what 15 minutes could do. This whole valley was just filled. You can obviously see the lake down below now, even a couple boaters. So yeah, I got a busy day. We're gonna wrap things up here at the Vista and head on back down. I want to see if I can see the dam from over here. The dam should be right in here. But yeah, we're gonna descend on back down into the valley, and I'm gonna show you the lake before all the fog disappears. So let's get back on the road. What do you say? Alrighty folks, here we are. Made it to the next destination. Look at this view. When I came in yesterday, arrived in the park, this was basically the first view I got, and I was like, holy smokes. But yeah, this is Kettle Creek Reservoir, 167 acres. I came down here last night and hung out along that bench. I'll show you a clip of that now. But while I was sitting there, seen two bald eagle, one of which caught a fish and flew into that tree over there that kind of looks like a hemlock. Bald eagle flying by right here. Just grabbed a fish. Now it's dinner time. I don't know how well you can see him. Looks like in an old hemlock tree. Might even be another eagle coming in. But yeah, I figured I'll take you down along the banks of Kettle Creek Reservoir and show you around a little bit. Yeah, I don't know where else in Pennsylvania you'll get scenery like this. Maybe Cinnamahoney, but yeah, I can see why a lot of folks consider this to be one of the best state parks in the Commonwealth. And to make things even cooler, that vista that we were at a few short minutes ago, you can see a little notch up in the hillside there. That's where we were standing looking down. So I mean, that's got to be 1,000 feet elevation, I would imagine. And as you can see, since I came down the mountain, all the fog is cleared up, just like that. So yeah, just figured I would show you this real quick. Obviously, as I said already, this is Kettle Creek Reservoir. I'll be taking you to the dam here eventually. I don't know if we'll do that today or tomorrow. I'm probably gonna put 2 or 3 days all into this one video. So yeah, it's gonna be hot today. I think I'm gonna take a little drive, maybe get some food, and just try to beat the heat. But yeah, if you don't see me until later, I think we're gonna go and try and find some elk. I got a little tip to try and find them. So we'll see if we get lucky. If we do, that'll just be icing on the cake. So, all right, one last look at Kettle Creek Reservoir for a little bit. All right, folks, well, a little later in the day now, the sun is out. I just got back from a little road trip down to Emporium to get some supplies, but here I am back at Kettle Creek State Park and stopped alongside of the road here. I figured I would take you on down to the creek where this park gets its name. So let's go check out Kettle Creek. All right, and here we are. There's your first view of beautiful Kettle Creek. Nice little fire ring. And wow. Little, I don't know if that's a man-made dam here or what, but let's go down and check it out. Wow, what a spot. I think I ventured out far enough, but this water looks like it's easily 4 foot deep right here, and I'm only maybe a quarter of the way through. But yeah, if you're ever in the area and you want to do a little swimming, check this place out. We're only about 5 minutes away from where the dam is, downstream obviously. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna hop back in the truck and I'll see you at another spot. All right, well, continuing on with our Kettle Creek road trip today, stumbled upon this old cemetery. Check these views out. Not going to spend too much time here, but I figured this would be something fun to include in the video. Looks like a lot of these graves are from the 1800s. But yeah, look at these views. All right, well, like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time here. You know, I was just thinking a lot of people get like creepy vibes from cemeteries, but every time I go to a cemetery, it's just kind of peaceful to me. A lot of veterans here. And speaking of that, you know, yesterday was just the 4th of July. Forgot to mention anything about serving the country, but if there's anybody out there that serves the country and watches this channel, I just want to say thank you. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to do anything like this if it wasn't for all you fine folks out there. So, thank you. Well, one last look at probably one of the most photogenic cemeteries you will ever see here, located up in the hills of the PA Wilds. A little update on what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. There is a very short nature trail back by camp. It might be a half a mile, if that. Probably going to go back and do that. And then right around sunset, I'm gonna come back here in the evening. Supposedly there's a good chance of seeing some elk in this area. So fingers crossed with that. If we see them, we see them. If not, we won't. And then we'll be calling it a night, make a little fire, make a little dinner. And then tomorrow morning, I'll get up and I'll take you down to the lower campground as well as the dam and tell you a little bit about that. So this is gonna be a little 2-day episode here. Trying to make this as streamlined as possible. It probably seems like this video is all over the place. I got elk, cemeteries, rivers, dams, vistas. So sorry if this is a little all over the place, but all right, I'm gonna head back to camp now and get out of this nearly 90-degree weather. Not bad. All right, well, just said goodbye to camp. These are the views from the upper campground, as you can see behind me. Pretty small campground, maybe 30 sites if that, but there are two different campgrounds here. I'll be showing you the lower one tomorrow, which seems to be one of the nicer campgrounds in all of Pennsylvania. The facilities here aren't the best, I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, I already said this park only really has 2 miles of hiking trail. It's more of a driving slash boating kind of park, but yeah, you can't beat the scenery. Literally anywhere you walk here, you get these kind of views. You can see the overlook that we were at early this morning, that little notch up there. But yeah, the nature trail starts over to my left, so we're gonna head there. Like I said, it's not gonna take much time. See what we can see, and then we'll drive on down the road and see if we can spot an elk today. So. This lighting right now is just perfection. Like, if you're a videographer, this is what you're aiming for right here. The sun just peeking on through the pines before it goes over the hill. Yeah, this is it right here. All right, well, I don't know what I got myself into here. As you can see, the nature trail has turned into a bushwhack. Just after I was complimenting this trail, it doesn't really look like they maintain it at all. Might be turning back around here because this isn't exactly too much fun. I'm gonna go up a little bit further, see if it clears out and goes across the creek. If not, I'll probably be heading back the way I came. All right, well, that's the end of the trail. I'm gonna hop in the truck, drive on down the road, and see if we can get lucky and spot a elk. So I'll see you there. Well, no elk, but very non-skittish rabbit. Well, no elk back here. One more spot to check. No sign of elk, but there's a pretty big turkey off in the field there. I don't know how well you guys can see that right there. All right, well, it turns out it's not just a turkey. It's a turkey in front, and there are like 4 or 5 of the chicks in between them, and then another turkey in the back. Pretty interesting. I can't say I've ever seen that before. Hopefully you guys can see it way off, way along that tree line. There's a dead pond right there. They're right underneath. I'll try to zoom in and show you. Weird structures in front of me here and here are actually food bins for the elk, and the state will come out and put these all throughout the forest to try and keep the elk in one area. And from what I read, it doesn't really seem like it's working, but that's what these weird All right, well, those were my 2 spots to find elk, and unfortunately didn't get to see any. I'm sitting back up here at the cemetery we were at earlier. Would be a great place for a sunset. See a little smoke coming out of the hillside there. Hopefully that isn't a forest fire, but yeah, Look at all these hills. That one almost looks like a big caldera from a volcano. But hey, it is what it is. It's not hurting my feelings. I've only seen a few in PA, but I would like to still get that ID for the channel. So tonight is a new moon, which means the best stargazing opportunity of the month and maybe the year. So I'm gonna go back to camp, get a fire going, and hopefully see some stars tonight. So I will see you guys first thing in the morning, and I'll show you the dam and the lower campground before heading out. So see you tomorrow. All right, guys, good morning. It is day 2 here at Kettle Creek, just after 7 a.m. As you can hear, the generator is still going, unfortunately. But I'm gonna take you all down to the dam and check out the lower campground, and then we're gonna wrap this episode up. So let's go. All right, well, just 2 more stops on the Kettle Creek World Tour. We are here at none other than Alvin R Bush Dam. And check out these morning views with the fog rolling over the hills. This is the PA Wilds. Absolutely beautiful. Looking out over Kettle Creek Reservoir, you can almost imagine a black bear or a herd of elk walking along the shoreline there. Pretty remarkable area. Little history lesson from the area, not to bore you folks, but of course the Alvin R Bush Dam was built in the name of flood control by the Army Corps of Engineers back in the late 50s and early 60s. Kettle Creek was backed up here. Eventually it would run down into the Susquehanna River, and a lot of towns downstream were just getting obliterated by flood water. Millions of dollars of damage. So they came out here in the name of flood control and built this dam, like I said, in the late 50s and 60s. But yeah, absolutely spectacular scene here. And this dam, like so many others in the state, when it was built, it affected the folks that lived along the creek side. So as you can imagine, Kettle Creek that we seen yesterday would have looked the same as it came through this area. The dam was built, the water levels rose, and anybody living along the creek side, unfortunately, had to be evicted. So there is a cool little rock over here talking about some of the first settlers in the area. Simeon Phelps and Susanna Phelps said they came here in 1813, built a log cabin right along the water's edge. And then eventually, sadly, Simeon died from a rattlesnake bite he was handling. So yeah, this just talks a little bit about the history here. It even says that there was a cemetery right down the stream, which unfortunately I'm going to assume that it is underwater now. But yeah, that was really the only history I could find about the folks that lived out here. I'm sure Native Americans called this area home probably before the Phelpses came. But yeah, just one last look here at beautiful Kettle Creek State Park. We're gonna head on down the road. I'm gonna show you the lower campground, and then that's gonna wrap up the episode. So hopefully I did a good job at summing up this park in 30 minutes or whatever this video is. So yeah, definitely 2 thumbs up. If you haven't made it out here, what are you waiting for? Look at these views, like seriously. All right, well, we said goodbye to the dam, and we are here at the last stop for the day. As you can see, made it to the lower campground here at Kettle Creek State Park. And just behind me, I parked here in the Donut Hole Trail parking area. If you're not familiar with that trail, it is a nearly 95-mile-long backpacking trail and considered to be one of the most challenging in the state. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much when we go into the campground. I'm sure some folks are still sleeping, but this is arguably one of the nicest campgrounds in the entire state, and you'll see why in just 1 second. And here we are, located right along Kettle Creek. You can see some of the campers down to my right and a few more off to my left. I believe this campground holds around 50 sites, all electric hookups, and like I said, one of the nicer campgrounds in the entire state, and you can see why. So a little information about this section. So the park is kind of fragmented. You have the lower and the upper. Obviously I'm staying in the upper, and then Sproul State Forest kind of separates the two. They're only about a 10-minute drive away from each other, but from what I learned, this is kind of like the original area that made this a state park. This was established back in 1954, but the CCC boys did have some involvement here during the 30s. They built some structures as well as an old dam that is just down the stream from here. This park is just under 2,000 acres, but yeah, I figured I would show you one of the cooler campgrounds in the entire state. So I'm gonna head on down, show you a little bit more sights and scenes down in the lower campground, and show you the CCC built dam, and then we're gonna get out of here. So let's go. And here we are. This is probably going to be our last stop for the day, but we have made it to the CCC built dam, built between 1935 and 1937, long before this was even a state park. So let's go down and check it out. Alrighty folks, well, one last look at the old CCC built dam and one last look at Kettle Creek State Park. Gonna wrap things up here. Thanks for joining me on yet another state park adventure, state park number 37 for the channel, and hopefully this helps somebody out there if you're maybe looking into coming here. I think I pretty much summed up the entire park in hopefully less than a half an hour. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to camp, get all wrapped up, and then head up to state park number 38 for the evening. And yeah, I'll see you there. If you aren't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, tell me if you ever camped here, tell me what you think about the campground, and yeah, I'll see you on the next adventure, guys. Maximum Outdoors signing out.